Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the South Carolina College Baseball Recap for Sunday, March 29th. There were 15 games involving state teams played on Sunday. Most of them were conference games. Let's take a look at what happened. Over in Rock Hill, Corey Waters hit a two-run homer in the 8th inning to tie the game, then a sacrifice fly in the 10th inning to provide the game winner as Winthrop beat Charleston Southern 5-4 in 10 innings to complete a Big South Conference Series sweep. It was the 6th straight win for the Eagles, who've also won 10 of 11 overall. They are 21-7, including 6-0 in the Big South Conference. Charleston Southern had an early 4-0 lead before Winthrop rallied. Charleston Southern's record fell to 17-10 and 2-4. For Winthrop, Ben Rico pitched 3 shutout innings to keep the Eagles close enough to where they get a chance to tie the game. Up in Huntington, West Virginia, Jordan Taylor's second sacrifice fly of the game gave number 15 Coastal Carolina the lead, and they held on to beat Marshall by a score of 5-4 in 10 innings to complete a series sweep. The Shots are now 20-7 overall, 9-0 in the Sun Belt. Marshall fell to 13-13 and 5-4. Marshall tied the score with 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th before Taylor got his big sac fly in the 10th. The Chanticleers have now won 31 straight games against Sun Belt Conference competition. For Coastal, Jordan Taylor, as I mentioned, he had a single and 3 RBI total. 2 of his RBI were on sacrifice flies. In Spartanburg, Hunter Herndon broke a tie with a 2-run single in the 7th inning, and Wofford completed a Southern Conference Series sweep of UNC Greensboro by a score of 6-3. Terriers improved to 19-9 overall, 3-0 in the Southern SoCon, and they have won 5 straight games now. Greensboro fell to 12-17 and 1-5. For Wofford, Cade Bognot had 6 innings pitched, allowed a run, and struck out 3. Good start for him. I believe he transferred from USC Aiken, if I remember correctly. South Carolina's offense finally came to life, but the bullpen went south as the Gamecocks fell to Georgia 9-7 in the final game of an SEC series down in Athens. The Gamecocks scored 2 runs in the first. Georgia answered with 2. Carolina eventually got up 6-2. Georgia came back and tied and took the lead. Then Jake Randolph homered to tie the score in the top of the 8th, but Carolina gave up 2 in the bottom of the inning, and they could not answer in the top of the 9th and fell to 13-16 overall, 1-8 in the SEC. Georgia is now 23-6 and 7-2. The Bulldogs ranked number 7 nationally. For Carolina, KJ Scobie had 3 hits and drove in a run. Again, the bullpen just didn't have it on Sunday after the offense finally got going. Carolina had 13 hits, but none of the USC relievers were particularly effective when they had to go to the bullpen. Anyway, things happen like that. Benedict had 13 hits, drew 11 walks, and stole 9 bases to complete a home series sweep of Morehouse by a score of 16-8 in the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. The Tigers are now 15-8 overall, 13-8 in the SIAC. Morehouse fell to 14-13 and 11-8. For Benedict, Jonathan Olmedo was 2 for 3 with a double, a walk. He was hit by a pitch. He stole 2 bases, scored 3 runs, and drove in 3 runs for Coach Selwyn Young's team. Over in Florence, Gaston College scored single runs in the 8th and 9th innings to knock Florence Darlington Tech 2 games back in the Region 10 standings with a 12-10 win. It was a seesaw game. The Stingers had a 6-run inning to take the lead, but Gaston College fought back. The Rhinos of Gaston College are now 35-3 overall, 15-3 in the region. 2 of their 3 region losses have come to FD Tech. FD Tech is 32-8 and 13-5. I'd like to say they're 2 games back of the Rhinos with 2 games left. With 12 games left in the region schedule. They're going to have to get some help to try to catch Gaston College and hope they don't stumble themselves. For the Stingers, Tristan Strickland was 4 for 5 with a double, a homer, 2 stolen bases, 2 runs scored, and 5 RBI. But again, Gaston College scored late to win that game. Walker Fox had 4 hits and drove in 7 runs as Western Carolina salvaged the final game of the SoCon Series at the Citadel with a 16-3 run rule win in 7 innings. The Catamounts are now 18-11 overall, 3-3 at the SoCon. The Citadel fell to 12-14 and 3-3. For the Citadel, Jared Williams had a double, a walk, 2 stolen bases, and scored 2 runs. He's doing a pretty good job of setting the table from that leadoff spot. In Aiken, Yariel Diaz was 5 for 5. 4 of those hits were doubles, as USC Aiken wrapped up a Peach Belt Conference sweep of Claflin by the score of 18-2 in 7 innings. It was the 3rd straight run rule win for the Pacers over the weekend. Aiken is now 25-9 overall, 13-5 in the Peach Belt. And for the Pacers, Salvatore Lamo was 2 for 3 with a triple, 2 walks, 3 runs scored, and 4 RBI. Claflin now has a 21-game losing streak, and they're, like I say, they're winless in the Peach Belt at 3-23, 0-18. Aiken is 25-9, 13-5. If I did not mention that. A 10-run 3rd inning and 11 walks helped Lander run rule Georgia Southwestern by a score of 22-12. The Bearcats only had 12 hits, but they put up 22 runs. Lander's 20-14 overall, 13-8 in the Peach Belt after this conference conference series sweep. Georgia Southwestern fell 18-17 and 11-7. For Lander, Oliver Zahn was 3 for 4 with a double, a steal, 3 runs scored, and 3 RBI. USC Sumter and USC Union swapped 9-run innings, but the Fire Ants had more supporting offense in other innings to beat the Bantams by a score of 22-13 in a run rule game. For USC Sumter, they are now 23-10 overall, 11 overall, 11-6 in Region 10. USC Union fell to 20-16 and 5-12. Ryan Pikatowski hit 2 of the Fire Ants' 5 home runs. Jason Perry also had a great day. He was 5 for 7 with a triple, a home run, 3 runs scored, and 4 RBI in that Region 10 win. Aiden Ray drove in 8 runs with 2 doubles, 2 singles, as USC Lancaster completed a sweep of USC Salkehatchie with a 15-5 run rule win. Ray also stole a base for the Lancers. Lancaster is now 20-16 overall, 7-10 in Region 10, and Salkehatchie fell to 3-33 and 1-16. Also for Lancaster, Brody Sanders was 3 for 5 with 2 doubles, a run scored, and 3 RBI. Elsewhere, a 9th-inning sacrifice fly lifted Campbell to a 3-2 win over College of Charleston as a walk-off win for the Camels, and they completed a Coastal Athletic Association series sweep. Campbell is now 18-9 overall, 11-1 in the CAA. The College fell to 10-17 and 5-7. The Cougars are really just not having any luck this year. For the College, Nick Diaz had a double and drove in both runs in the game. Elsewhere, Coleman McGinnis hit a grand slam in the 4th, and UNC Asheville held on to beat USC Upstate 5-3 to avoid a sweep in the finale of that Big South Conference series. The Bulldogs improved to 14-14 overall, 2-4 to Big South, and Upstate fell to 14-15 and 5-4 in conference play. For Upstate, Malloy Haganey was 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. Columbus State and USC Beaufort both had 9 hits, but the Cougars got much better production to win that game by a score of 10-2 in the finale of that Peach Belt Conference series. The Cougars improved to 20-10 overall, 13-5 in the conference. Beaufort fell to 7-25 and 2-19 with that loss. For Beaufort, Terry Dean had a single, a double, a walk, and an RBI. And in the final game of the day involving the state team, Sanford shut out Presbyterian by a score of 5-0. The Bulldogs are now 12-14. PC fell to 5-24. For Presbyterian, Cam Mallow had a single and a walk. That's all the action there was involving state teams. A couple of highlights involving the ACC and SEC. Georgia Tech completed a sweep of NC State by a score of 10-0. Yellow Jackets are ranked 3rd. The Wolfpack's 14th. Duke salvaged the series finale at number 10 Florida State, 11-4. Number 13 North Carolina completed a sweep of number 23 Notre Dame, 15-10. Number 9 Virginia avoided being swept at Boston College with a 3-1 win. Cal took the finale of a series at Wake Forest. They got swept on Saturday. They won today, 5-3. And Pitt won the rubber game of a series at Louisville by a score of 13-7. In the SEC, in Nashville, What a weekend for Vanderbilt. They had 3 walk-off wins over Tennessee, who was ranked number 21. And in the Sunday game, they went into the Vols at a 15-10 lead going into the bottom of the ninth, and the Commodore scored 6 runs, including a walk-off grand slam. Florida wrapped up a series sweep at number 4 Arkansas 7-6. Alabama completed a sweep at number 5 Auburn 3-1. Number 25 Texas A&M pasted Missouri by a score of 14-3. Number 6 Mississippi State finished up a road sweep of number 18 Ole Miss 7-1. LSU fell behind early 7-0 and came back to beat Kentucky by a score of 17-10. And the Wildcats are number 19 in the D1Baseball.com poll. There are no varsity games on the state level on Monday. There are some games in the Conference Carolinas Developmental or JV tournament. There are 4 games at Sparrow Stadium in Florence, 3 games at Dr. C. Keith Connor Field in Central. I've got those games listed on the schedule that will be published tonight and early tomorrow. I've already published the schedule for the week. Note that next weekend is Easter, and so most teams are going to avoid playing on Sunday. The lone exception is Clemson and Stanford are going to finish their series out in Palo Alto on Sunday. But again, I've got the schedule for next week already posted. You can check that out. You can always find out what's going on at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. I provide updates during games under my X account of Palmetto Base. That's the handle there. And you can always contact me at RudyJones at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Thanks for watching the South Carolina College Baseball Recap for Sunday, March the 29th. This is Rudy Jones saying good night. Jesus loves you.